From when you wake up to when you sleep, 300,000 beggars have ended their day on the streets. Some will go to their 1 to 2 BHK apartments funded by the victims of the begging business. Some have nowhere to go. Individuals with less than 32 rupees to spend in a day are classified as living below the poverty line. 1 in 5 Mumbaikars is below that line. 60% are homeless and spend their nights on the streets, railways, or grounds. We drive past them every day. How much do you know about them? You're watching The Other Side. When I was given the IB personal project, I didn't see it as just another project. I saw it as an opportunity to grow and develop myself and the situation around me. I saw it as an opportunity where I could help some of those around me, especially those in my reach. What you are now watching is just my little share of contribution to this beautiful city of ours. India is the world's largest democracy with about 1.2 billion citizens. Mumbai is this democracy's financial capital. Developing at a rapid pace, no doubt it's worthy of its name. In 2001, the population was estimated to be 11.2 million. Today, in 2015, it exceeds 20.5 million. Now that's a lot of people. 54% of those lots of people live in shabby slums with lack of basic human necessities. That's quite bad. In 2010, One India, a leading fact website, figured that about 100,000 Mumbaikars, or 1 lakh, have no place to call home. These people are just those silhouettes you'll be seeing sleeping on your footpath at 12, or the ones you may have seen with little to no belongings sitting at the railways. Many of these run to the closest landmark, so when they wake up in the morning, they're close to you, close to your vehicles, and can knock on your window for $1 or $2. And I've always wondered, who are these people and where do they come from? तुमसे कुछ सवाल उसको सिर्फ कुछ सवाल पूछने का है। पहले गाना बोलेंगे अपन। गाना बोलेंगे। गाना गाना मंगला सारा गाना गाना मैंने बोल सकते हैं उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। लेकिन उसको कुछ सवाल पूछने का है उसका बात कर सकते हो? What you just saw was a clip of me speaking to some of the homeless people whom I interviewed for my personal project. They helped me understand a lot about what their situation was really like, and the first thing I wanted to know was how the poor citizens really lived, what they wanted and what they did not have.
एक वीक में मांगते धंधा करते भूखा बबुल की बोलता जहाँ सब बच्चे भी खाते हैं सब गाड़ी पूरे काले थे पूरी गाड़ी तो रागे पूरे गाड़ी चल रहे कैसे मांग रहे क्या मांग रहे सब मेरे चल रहे मेरे लड़के हैं मांगने अरे बहुत मांग रहे हैं
आवाज आएगा नहीं इसको थोड़ा शांत करा सकते हो तो अच्छा है।
The noise that some of these people were making was insane. Why? It was because they thought I was a news reporter. It's actually quite interesting that they didn't want me to be a news reporter. It wasn't that they were excited or anything at all. They were actually quite skeptical about the whole interview. Some of them did not want to do it, and many of them just walked off. They also said they didn't want to be publicized in front of the broker. This hints that they were probably already quite troubled with their lives and clearly the fact that they didn't want me to be a reporter or something, and I had to convince them that it was a school project, there was clearly something about reporters which really scared them. Perhaps the full story was never really shown.
शूटिंग की तुम ताड़ी लिए घर उठे या
ओके रिपीट।
दिन में सब कितना कमाते होंगे?
दिन में 200
और अगर और पैसा रहता, अगर और भी मिलता पहले से ही, तो क्या करते?
क्या
काम क्या करते?
जब अपना कलर है धूप आता हूँ वो दिन में हम लोग कैसा क्या काम करते, डायरेक्ट काम वगैरह सब कर मेहनत गवर्नमेंट काम करते। हम बिल्डिंग का सीमेंट पे टपोरी पर गोली लेके जाते हैं।
कैजुअली ऐसा क्या है, हमारे ये जो वैसा है समझो प्रोफेशन है, तो हमारे प्रोफेशन भी है समझो।
झंडू गिंडू यहाँ इधर
घर पे जाके खेती बाड़ी करते हैं, मतलब वे आर फार्मर्स, उनके पास खेती बाड़ी है उनके पास।
और अगर और पैसा है तो दूसरा काम कौन सा करते हैं? फार्मिंग के बजाय
क्या करते हैं? खेती बाड़ी के अलावा कुछ नहीं करते।
And now it seems like it's time for them to discuss the government.
कुछ नहीं दिया। क्या दिया? उसको ऐसे बोल रहे कभी नहीं मांगा, जो मांगे उसको पकड़ो। राशन कार्ड पहचानो, आधार कार्ड पहचानो, अपना ओळख पत्र पहचानो, जिसको पकड़ो ना तुम। हमारे पास सब है, हमने क्या किया हमारे को पकड़।
तो तुम बोल रहे हो सरकार ने कोई मदद नहीं की?
पानी पीने कुछ भी नहीं, हमारे पास खेती बाड़ी है, सब पानी नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है। वो हम कैसा
न्यूज में तुम मेरे को लेके चल,
ऐसा डालते हम लोग,
कुछ नहीं टिकता से
हमारे खेती में कुछ टिकता नहीं है, कुछ होता नहीं है। ऐसे सरकार भेजेगी तो हमको भी आने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा।
इसलिए आप गांव से यहाँ आए?
हाँ गाँव से आए, हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं है, क्योंकि उधर मजबूरी है, इसके लिए हम इधर आए सर।
91-92 जो बोलते दलाल लोग, अपना मूंगफली अपन जो हम पिकाते जब भी तो ये हाथ जगते हैं, नहीं तो सब मर जाते हैं। अपना केरल को कुछ हमारे कुछ नहीं दिया।
और किस तरह का मदद चाहिए तुमको? पहले किस तरह का मदद?
पहले किस मदद
सरकार
हमारे पास ऐसा
हमारे लोगों को पहले सभी जो भी है, छोटे बच्चे हैं उसमें, औरत लोग हैं, तो पहले उसको एजुकेशन चाहिए। घर पे जाके पढ़ेंगे बेचारे, वहाँ कोई हॉस्टल नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है। हमारे पास रहने के लिए सारा जगह तक नहीं है रहने के लिए, तो बेचारे घर पे मजदूरी के दौरान पैसा नहीं रहता है, काम धंधा नहीं रहता है इनके पास, इनको चले आते हैं इधर बलून वगैरह।
Apart from a bit about their lifestyles, I also got to know about some of their backgrounds, where they were from, and what they used to do.
अमरावती से है, अमरावती जिला से है।
और मुंबई में
महाराष्ट्र से?
महाराष्ट्र से है, अमरावती जिला में।
मेहनत करने
जो काम करने आए थे वो हुआ है?
नहीं हुआ, नहीं चालू नहीं हुआ।
वैसा ही नहीं है।
तो मुंबई ने कुछ नहीं दिया?
वैसे खाने पीने के पैसे निकल जाते हैं, समझो बलून वगैरह।
तो हो जाता है,
खाना पीना हो जाता है।
लेकिन जो काम करने आए थे
हमारे अलावा भी लोग महाराष्ट्र से भी, तो कोई भी बिहार से आए, यूपी से आए, बहुत सारे लोग हैं। यहाँ ही नहीं, बट वो आदर्श नगर है ना, आदर्श नगर में भी रहते हैं बहुत सारे लोग। तो वो हमको भी समझो, हम तो समझो ऐसे बलून वगैरह देते हैं, तो बलून के साथ वो बिजली मांगते हैं समझो, ऐसे बलून के साथ। हाँ वैसे उनका बलून ना दिखता तो भीख मांगते हैं।
लेकिन आप जैसे काफ़ी स्मार्ट लगते हो, आप थोड़ा सा अंग्रेजी भी बोल रहे हो, तो आप कुछ काम करने का, कुछ ढूंढने का कोशिश किया?
स्टूडेंट मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ।
अच्छा।
मेरा 12वीं पास हुआ मैं।
अच्छा।
गांव में किया।
ओके।
तो बीएड फर्स्ट ईयर चालू मेरा।
अच्छा।
तो फर्स्ट ईयर का तो फेल हो गया थोड़ा।
अच्छा।
तो 2-4 समझो सब्जेक्ट रह गए, तो वो कंप्लीट कर रहा हूँ मैं। अच्छा। मैं बालवाड़ी की। हाँ इन्होंने पढ़ाई की, बालवाड़ी की सबसे पास थी।
और ये पूरा परिवार है?
हाँ परिवार बोलते गाँव वाले समझो, पूरा गाँव हमारे गाँव में।
और अभी मोदी सरकार है और अब तक कितने टाइम में जब
सूर्याच्या घरचं आम्हाला पाणी आता है तो हमारे घर के छप्पर वगैरह उड़ जाते हैं सभी हमारे वोटिंग हमने वोटिंग दिया तो कुछ भी नहीं है हमारा जो बाथरूम है तुम्हारे पास तो हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं है हमारा खाली आया था झोपड़पट्टी है और जो तुम्हारे घर में सोने का है वो तो हम झोपड़पट्टी में रहते हैं आए थे सोने के लिए बहुत आता है कुछ खाना पीना के लिए हम खाली जमीन पे सोते हैं जो रहते हैं आप बिल्डिंग के अंदर उसमें हमारे कुछ भी नहीं है इसकी यही संकट के अंदर हम लोग इधर आए हैं
What interviewing these poor citizens really helped me with is gain a wider perspective with which then I could go and meet a businessman and a politician to get their opinions as to the reasons and the solutions to poverty on the streets of Mumbai today.
So what are your thoughts over the economic situation of Mumbai?
So you want me to look at you, right?
Yeah.
So the economic situation of Mumbai today is very different compared to what it was, let's say, 25 years back. Net employment has actually not increased much. And that means the total number of people employed in either industries or services. And the primary reason for that is Mumbai used to be an industrial city 30-40 years back. It is no longer an industrial city today. So it primarily has services and so total employment actually has either stagnated or increased only marginally. Now this creates problems in the city in terms of employment opportunities being provided to people here. Add to that the fact that Mumbai is the largest economic city in India and there's a lot of migrant influx that is coming into Mumbai. And when they come in and don't get the right opportunities they came for, that causes a problem in terms of unemployment and eventually unemployment leads to poverty. So that's kind of where the economic situation is in Mumbai today.
And what do you think is required to eliminate this poverty?
So the eliminating poverty is not a 5-year process or a 10-year process. It's probably a 50-year process. And it may eventually never get eliminated given the fact that we are a $1.2 billion population in this country. However, the only way to reduce poverty is by making dependence independent. Now that will happen by creating employment opportunities, that will happen by creating entrepreneurship opportunities for people, and the only way to do that is to have a more vibrant economy, which means the GDP of Mumbai, what Mumbai produces, what Mumbai has in terms of services needs to increase. In addition, we cannot be having a net increase in the population of Mumbai at any significant rate. The net increase in population of Mumbai needs to be minimal, it needs to be marginal. So opportunities for people need to increase outside Mumbai as well, which means in the rest of Maharashtra, which means in states like Uttar Pradesh, which means in states like Bihar. And if you look at a lot of the low-end employment in Mumbai, it is from these states. It's not just from within Maharashtra, it's not from the surrounding areas, it's actually from places as far as 2,000 kilometers away. So providing opportunities to people outside as well as providing more opportunities inside Mumbai, it's a combination of these two that's eventually going to lead to reduction in poverty and having dependents become more independent.
So what do you think are the primary causes of poverty?
Few key things. More people coming in and job opportunities not keeping pace with that. That is the primary reason. More people coming in because opportunities outside of Mumbai and other big cities similar to Mumbai have not kept pace with the increase in population. This is the crux. There are many other reasons, but if you ask for a top reason, it's this one.
And so what is your role as a businessman? Okay, 1 second. So what is the role of a businessman like yourself to help poverty in Mumbai?
I think it's the role of a businessman like me and every other businessman and every other prospective businessman or entrepreneur to make business successful. That is the crux. The more successful businesses are and the more successful businessmen are, the more employment opportunities will get created for people. That's the crux.
So you mentioned Uttar Pradesh and Bihar and other states. So in your opinion, is rural development one of the primary things that will help urban development in Mumbai for poverty? And how?
Yeah, well, you can say rural development or you can say development outside the big cities. And Mumbai is the biggest city in India. So it has a big impact on Mumbai specifically. There has to be development outside of Mumbai. Development has to be widespread. Look at any successful country. Look at the big city model in the developed world. It is not like the opportunities are only sitting in those big cities. In the developed countries, in the successful countries, development is widespread. It's uniform, or well, not exactly uniform, but it's more uniform than us across the country. We need infrastructure, we need good networks, we need good communication, and opportunities need to be 10x more than what they are today outside of the big cities, and Mumbai specifically. That will help reduce the pressure on cities like Mumbai.
Now that we've looked at the economic point of view, I think it's time we take a look at the political point of view from Ms. Kunika Lal.
So, what are your thoughts over the economic situation of Mumbai?
Look, topographically, demographically, or whatever, if you look at it, Mumbai has excellent opportunities for every level of earning. You can even earn 20 rupees a day, you can earn 5 rupees a day, you can even earn 5,000 rupees a day. So technically, Mumbai really gives you a lot of opportunities for earning a livelihood, and that's why there is so much of migration into Mumbai. So the thing is that I think that the fact that there's migration, but the infrastructure doesn't support that, and therefore you can earn, but if you're living in a slum which has got an overflowing, a nali or something like that, you're going to get sick, and then you're going to be spending that much money on your illnesses and whatever. So on your treatment. So that, if it can be corrected, then definitely it is a win-win situation.
Okay. And that way, how do you think all of this impacts the whole poor community of Mumbai?
As I said, that because the living conditions are not that suitable. Of course, the blessing is that we have the train, so it's a very economical way of transportation for every level, every category of people.
Yeah.
But because of the conditions, because of the health issues, because also housing is very expensive, and if you have to rent a place like in a Chal also, it costs about 5,000 just for one little room. So obviously families can't stay, and so if you have to stay with the family, you have to stay far away. So that much traveling. There's a lot of things, but if they do this SRA schemes, that they're built properly, the slums that are there, which are converting to SRAs, and they're given proper housing, then the support system for the whole Mumbai, which is whether it's a maid or it's a driver or it's a mechanic, so the support system will be living around the area, which will make it definitely better. Socio engineering will be better.
Okay, and so you're in politics. So how does your party, the Congress Party, aim at improving the situation of the poor, and what do you think is required through that to eliminate poverty?
The Congress Party, when it was governing in Maharashtra and in the centre, there are a lot of health programs that they launched. Like there was Rajiv Gandhi Jeevan Daya Yojana, which is a health program for people, for the poor to, they can avail of health facilities up to 2 lakhs, and the government pays for that. Whether it's a kidney transplant also, and that's a 1 lakh every year, and up to 2 lakhs if it's a kidney issue or something like that. That is Rajiv Gandhi Jeevan Daya Yojana, which was a health scheme. Then housing scheme, they have housing schemes in the rural areas where the government gives you money to build your own home, or to marammat karna, repair your own house or your own little hut, whatever that is. That's called Rajiv Gandhi Awas Yojana, which is for people to build their homes. Also, the Awas Yojana has a program where there's a slum, a pocket of slums, which can get together and the cluster development can happen. They can do it themselves. So they can form a committee or a
a housing society rather, and then they can approach the government and get approvals from their own housing society, where they don't have to depend on a builder telling them lies, cutting out their whatever is due to them. That a lot of that happens. It's called apat and napat. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
builder will make you suddenly napat if the builder feels that, okay, I don't want to give that many houses
Yeah.
in the slum, in the SRS scheme. So all these things are there. Besides,
Quite interestingly, the homeless had something else to say.
एक मिनट कांग्रेस सरकार से लेकर तो भाजपा तक जो भी निवड़ते हैं कुछ भी हमारे गांव तक नहीं पहुंचा। 5-7 बरस के बाद जो रोड था वो भी नहीं पूरा हुआ, नल आए तो टूट गए, तो पानी था तो पानी नहीं हुआ, टाकी बंद है, हफ्ती होती है 2-4 हाथ पंप रहते ना हैंडपम्प, तो वो भी रहते तो वो भी टूट गए।
so all these things are there. Besides that, as the health I said, then employment generation is there, which is Manrega, which was started by the Congress Party, which is rural employment. That is, whether it's building highways, planting trees on the highways, the other infrastructure development work, where you get 30 days of, you can get 30 days of employment, guaranteed employment of 30 days can be given if you register with the labor, as a labor, so even the labor class can get work. So these are the different schemes. There are lots of ration food security bill that was passed by the Congress Party, is where you get free rations, 35 kgs of free rations for everybody staying there with a ration card, with a valid ration card, which is a yellow, orange color ration card. White color is supposed to be the one which don't take the ration, or they're just for accountability of the kind of or the census. They are used for the census. But the orange ration card is for the below poverty line or the people below a certain income group. 1 lakh se kam agar aapka income saal mein ho, so you get free ration of 35 kgs for that. Now these are the kind of things which they formulated to help the poor.
Okay, and coming back to the whole migration part, do you think providing more economic opportunities in the rural parts, the parts from where mainly people migrate to Mumbai, so economic opportunities in the rural part will aid a city like Mumbai, which will reduce overpopulation, do you think?
Economic opportunities in all over the country in the rural parts will definitely help migration in any city. And even today Delhi is choking with migration, Mumbai is choking with migration. So if places in Maharashtra itself, you have people leaving, the farmers from Maharashtra coming into Mumbai to work because irrigation is an issue. So they can't have their crops are not, they can't plant. There's drought condition. And so how do you generate employment for these people? Either you put up industries. For the industries, you need to obviously have industrial policies where corporates can come and invest in. So these are the things I think now the present government is also looking into, opening up a lot of things, policies, and also the part called tribal. In the tribal, what kind of employment can you give them? So you can only put up industries which are eco-friendly or environmental friendly. So recently I heard that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has decided to relax the environmental regulations or whatever. So that it should be a win-win for both. Otherwise it doesn't work, because it should not be where you're cutting down trees and destroying the tribal area and their own habitats and then giving them employment. So it's something which has to be looked into, and definitely it's possible. If it's in a tribal area, you can give people employment of their own culture, their own art, or their own, their tribals are good at making a lot of things which you can help them, promote them, or you can teach them new skills. So these kind of things should be then done, but skill training has to be done. There's we have unskilled labor, we need skilled labor in our country. Vocational to get an employment, you need to have some kind of training, some kind of whether you're a mechanic or you're a cook or whatever. There should be some regularized government training bodies, which they are vocational training providers, but they do it for very limited amount of people, or they don't do it in the tribal area. So this kind of thing should be done.
Okay, that's interesting. So what do you see as your role as being involved in politics, in improving the situation for all the poor, the homeless right now in Mumbai?
See, the thing is, I'm not an elected representative, but I'm as a social worker. After 28 years of being in social work, the other next step was to join politics. As a social worker, I think you can definitely create you can be a watchdog for the government. You can see that the checks and balances are maintained in the democracy. But effective governance or effective remedies can be definitely, suggestions can be made by social workers. But the politicians who are elected have to take those decisions. So for that, I think you need to be elected first of all. But that doesn't stop you from doing any good work. Yes, you can go to which what I have been doing in so many years, and I have approached the authorities and said this is what can be done. Then it's up to them to take it from there. So on the rural level, there's the collector's office, there's the Tehsildar office there, the district collector. You can give them projects, you can give them things about, especially about skill training and things like that. As a politician, you have to work on policies, and if you're an MLA, then obviously the legislative assembly. If you're a parliamentarian, then in the parliament you can make those policy change decisions. And I think lots of them are happening. And they were in the pipeline earlier also, and I think now they will start getting formulation. But yes, education is a very important part of that also. If you don't educate the people, you cannot even train them, because which language are you going to train them in? So first and foremost, we need to correct education, the education system. Our government, when we were in power, we gave the right to education, where it was mandatory for every child from the age of 6 years to 16 years to study, and it was free of cost. But other schools equipped for all that. So basically, it's all going to. It has to be a double-pronged attack towards this if we really want to make eradicate poverty from our country.
So to conclude, what's the final solution? India, and to be specific Mumbai, is supported primarily by the politicians and the money-making economists and workers. Not to forget, politicians are equally money-making. It's no surprise that the solution to being poor is to have more money. The whole idea of being poor is not having money. With currencies equaling international ones and import-export, GDP and other economic aspects coming into required balance, this money is what will support all the currently poor in the decades or centuries to come. What you see now is a growing city. It's Mumbai. What would help is opportunity for more jobs in this city of ours, and this will happen as infrastructure grows over time. Logically, this solves the problem. Indians or Mumbaikars will see the job opportunity and no longer be poor. That also depends on what skills they're equipped with, which brings in the whole aspect of education too. The main sourcing of poor in Mumbai is a large amount of overpopulation. This is mainly caused due to migrants coming from other states, seeing opportunity in this city of ours. To be specific, Maharashtra, many migrants come from villages that lack facilities, although the government has the money to fix or build them. All that matters is the correct use of this money. These people need jobs that they see in places like Mumbai. What needs to change is that they have jobs in their own villages, so they're content at their home. To see development in infrastructure and economy in these villages, it is important for the same environment of Mumbai to be introduced into these villages, where it is possible for traditional labor skills to work in the market and have enough capital for their businesses too. This needs to be brought into all states too, including Maharashtra. What is further needed is for the two elements to merge together. The businessman that creates money in the built market, tax and other investments into the government must then be put to the correct uses. In terms of globalization, language and other knowledge is required. This brings in expenditure priorities for the government, especially education. With this balance of skill and opportunity, you will see the same people on the footpath, not sleeping but on their way to work. You can go to work undisturbed in your car, as the poor are now happy in their own villages. Oh wait, sorry, not villages, in their own future cities. Oh, and I hope you didn't miss out on the differences between what the politician and the poor citizens had to say. For now, thanks for watching.